Thank you very much. Is this on? Yes. It's always nice to get a round of applause after having walked just a few feet as a disabled person, so patronising buggers. So I'm a bit new to all this. I have done it before, but I'm a bit new recently, so bear with me, and for God's sake, don't laugh. No, I got that wrong. So I've had an interesting time recently. A couple of years ago, following the death of my father, I was diagnosed with cancer, lost my job, lost my driving licence, lost the ability to walk, lost the use of my hands, my arms, spent 6 months in hospital, 6 months of chemotherapy, and a stem cell transplant. Now I know what you're thinking, that is comedy gold, isn't it? Absolute comedy gold. Now I've got my notes, because unfortunately my condition does affect my memory. Now I've got my notes, because unfortunately my condition does affect my memory. So it's quite ironic that I lost the use of my legs and I've decided to do stand-up. So I don't think I get the wheelchair up here, to be honest. So I don't want you to feel sorry for me though. It's just one of those things that I have to live with. There's not much I can do about it. It's painful. It's terrible, really. I have to live my life like this, but I'm sorry, I have to admit that I am an Arsenal fan. So, see, that joke would have killed in Tottenham, but Ellesmere, I'm not so sure. So, as I say, I lost the use of my hands, which wasn't brilliant, because there are certain things you have to do in life with your hands, one or two things. Now, before I got ill, the last person to wipe my bottom was my mum 45 years ago. But when I got ill, that task fell to the good folk at the NHS, the healthcare professionals. Now, I say healthcare professionals. Katie, a 16-year-old work experience student on her first day, was given the task to help me out in that area. Now, I was feeling pretty sorry for myself at the time. There was one person I felt more sorry for that day, and that was Katie. There are army veterans that have done 3 tours of Helmand Province that have been through a less traumatic experience than Katie did that day, believe me. But I hear she's doing well in counselling, so that's good. But I found the hospital staff quite good, but they could be rude. Every day somebody would come along to take my blood, they'd get the needle out and say, "Small prick." Now, I wasn't too worried about the insult, but I just wanted to know how they knew. Personally, I think Katie blabbed. On that note, quick fact, in Japan, the average length for a man is 3 inches. In Britain, the average length is 8 inches, which is fantastic. I read that in my local paper, the Tokyo Herald. Give you a minute for that one. So the staff there were great in the hospital, I must say, and there was some nice nurses, I must admit, and one in particular, Portuguese, brown hair, beautiful long legs, and I used to look forward to the sponge baths. I think it's just the way he was. It was just his technique. So there are advantages with being disabled, I must admit. I go to the supermarket now, and I can choose from all the regular spaces. I can choose from all the disabled spaces. I've got young children, so I can choose from all the parent spaces. So I've got a whole car park at my disposal. I think I'm a speech impediment away from being able to drive through the entrance of the supermarket and down the aisles myself, which I'm looking forward to when it happens. But it's nice to get back to some sort of normality. So I've got some hobbies. I'm in a band that plays miniature Indian musical instruments. I missed band practice last night though, because I couldn't find a baby sitar. Thank you. But it's nice to spend time with the family. Is anyone married here?
Yes.
What do you get married here for? It's a dump. I'm joking behind the bar. But my wife and I are very different. She married outside her faith. In fact, she tells me she's got no faith in me at all. So it's reassuring. Now, my plan was to treat my wife like a queen, but apparently chopping her head off is not an option these days. So. And it was a disappointing wedding night, unfortunately. I couldn't find the condoms. She kept saying, "You're not looking hard enough." Well, even when I found them, she still kept saying it, so not a great night. But having kids is amazing. We've got 2 kids, and I must say, for the ladies out there, I'm utterly impressed about what you go through to have these children. Now, I was there for both occasions, and it amazes me because the pain, the screaming, the mess, the room full of strangers looking at everything that's going on, but it's all right in the end though, because 9 months later, a baby's born, which is fantastic. I'll give you a minute for that one. But your life changes when kids come along, and I found myself, when the kids came along, that every day I was finding myself sniffing another human being to see if they'd pooed themselves, which I'd never done before, apart from that one stag weekend in Barnsley, I must say. But things change in life, I must say. Technology scares me. I recently had my identity stolen, which is a bit of a relief, because I used to be a complete bastard. But, data protection and all the breaches, they worry me as well. And I'm very careful. I just keep all my photos, all my personal information with my friends on Facebook. So it's nice and secure there. But I do try and get down with the kids, I must say. I try and connect with them. And I was on the bus the other day, and I had one of those big energy drinks, you know, the big cans of energy drinks. And there were some kids at the back of the bus, and this young girl says, "Oi, mister! Oi, mister!" Because she was straight out of Oliver Twist, obviously. "Oi, mister, give us a taste of your monster." Now, I got the wrong idea. Suffice to say, I'm not allowed on the bus anymore, or within 100 metres of children, so. But being married is a bit of a challenge, I must admit, because women remember everything. You've got to be so careful what you say, because they absolutely remember everything. Their memories are incredible. My wife is like an elephant. The memory's crap, but she's just like an elephant. And we have been through a bit of a rough time. We've found ourselves watching a lot of boxing movies recently, but I think it's just a rocky patch. But there's got to be a few groaners in there. Now, I did play a prank on my wife the other day. I gave her, instead of a lipstick, I gave her a glue stick. She didn't talk to me for a week. Well, she couldn't. Now, I'm glad that I'm married because actually when I was single, I wasn't that adventurous, to be honest. In fact, the most adventurous thing I did, I hope you don't mind me saying this, was I had a blowjob in a taxi. Now, it was great, but personally I'd have preferred he kept his eyes on the road. But when I was single, I did date an alcoholic with one leg, but she wasn't a steady girlfriend, so... So Brexit's gone well. I had to do it, had to do the B word. And I've been keeping a really, really close eye on it, so I'm just so glad that we left yesterday eventually. But I suppose the best we can hope for now is a short extension, which is coincidence because that's exactly what my plastic surgeon said to me once. But he wasn't a very good plastic surgeon because he did my vasectomy as well, and in the end he got the sack. Now I shouted and screamed at him, and at that point he got a little testy. You know your biology, obviously. So I'm surprised that Theresa May has screwed Brexit up so badly, because she's famously got no children, so I thought she'd be absolutely on top of withdrawal agreements, but... Maybe some of you don't know your biology. So I'll finish with a classic dad joke. I was wondering why the pasta juggler looked so concerned, and then the penny dropped. Thank you very much.